Gold Panda, the work album review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest from Gold Panda, aka Mr. Derwin Dicker. He has been at it since the early 2000s, putting out electronica, UK garage, etc. And for many years, I thought the guy was really being underlooked. I mean, I was super impressed with his early stuff, and I really loved his 2010 debut, Lucky Shiner. It's just so playful and colorful and fun, and the companion album that came out shortly after, I thought had a lot of great material on it as well, in an era where artists like Bonobo were putting out a lot of really great electronic work. I thought that Gold Panda was just putting out just as good work and just not getting as much credit. And I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to enjoy his next work, Half of Where You Live, but I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was just another very solid outing. I mean, it's impeccably textured, it's really detailed, it's produced well, and just very easy to take in. Now, the last time we heard from Gold Panda was in 2016. He put out the Good Luck and Do Your Best album, which I thought was average at best. I didn't think it was a bad album, but I was kind of feeling that Gold Panda was playing it safe. Even though it did have a lot of highlights, consistency-wise, this was his weakest album, which leads me to this new album, The Work. It's been quite some time since we heard from Gold Panda, and leading up to this album, I was kind of underwhelmed with the singles, to be perfectly honest. And to be honest, this album is a little under average, honestly. Don't get it twisted, though. The guy still does have the aesthetic down, and when he's really focusing, can put out some great stuff. Like, take, for example, this album's intro, Swimmer. It's a pretty sweet intro. It's very playful, very colorful, very light on the ears. But it does have the slew of influences you can expect from a Gold Panda tune. The production's really nice. It's pretty mesmerizing and just really gets you into that mind frame to, invest in a Gold Panda project. But then I hear tracks like The Want, and I'm actually really impressed with what he's doing. I love how jazzy and off-kilter and fluid this is. This gives me a reason to come back to this album. This here took a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's really expertly crafted. I feel like these samples I can't hear anywhere else. It also has a great human side to it that makes it oddly emotional, which is pretty hard to do in these genres. And on top of that, this just brings me back home. This sounds like Gold Panda's little world that he's put together over the years. It's a great track. And I really needed a track like I felt better than I do now. This track for me is so necessary here. It's sharply penned, it's a little upbeat, it's got a dance groove to it. God, I needed that. And on top of that, it's progressive, as this track really opens up into a very cinematic, very vast, very colorful track. It's what I go to Gold Panda for at the end of the day, and I'm glad that he's able to still put it together. Plastic Future is also really cool. This track has a big, bulky beat that shakes your damn headphones. Not only that, but a whole lot of mystery as well that just is so greatly appreciated. This to me is the complete package for Gold Panda. It's also one of the longest tracks here, but I feel like it's justified. He packs a lot in. It's very easy to get lost in. There's certainly a lot of good material here, but the issue is consistency and just when this album falls off, just how very safe it is. Like, take for example, The Dream. This track is just so average. It's fine, but that's it. Ever since this track dropped as a single, I just kind of shrugged at it. Does it sound like a Gold Panda track? Yeah, it certainly does, but does it show any progression whatsoever or growth as an artist? I don't think so. It's pleasant on the ears, but I'm not going to remember it a month from now. And I feel like the corner is just so phoned in. This is far from the best sampling I've heard from Gold Panda, by far. And yeah, sure, there's some pretty nice synth work in here, but once again, this just comes off so safe, so phoned in. New Days takes this album for an ambient turn, and once again, it's just kind of okay. It's a fine sort of ambient electronic piece. It actually sets up a pretty decent atmosphere right off the bat, but it just really just floats along for another 3.5 minutes. It does nothing. Modern Gold Panda is just really tough for me to really analyze and really rate fairly. I mean, this album, much like his last album, is very inconsistent. The Spiral is really cool. This is Gold Panda's take on Downtempo, and it actually comes off really tasteful. It's super airy and very busy, so you get a little Gold Panda flair, but it's also really gloomy and downtrodden and well produced. It makes for a pretty unique sound, one that I think he could have pushed even further. But then you get to Arima, and I honestly think we're getting some of the worst material here. Once again, this is a turn for the ambient, which is something you may crave. But for me, it's really awkward and just horribly paced. It just breezes by so nonchalantly, I can't remember anything about it already. Chrome is a turn for the sort of moody, sort of somber, which is something that I thought that I'd be really into. But the reality is it sounds really forced and more convoluted than anything. And that just really stinks. This album is just not as consistent as I would have liked it to be. Yeah, there's a handful of really great tunes, but so much of this just seems so phoned in, including this album's finale, Joni's Room, which has a pretty solid backbone. You're getting the influences, it's kind of cool, but I can't remember a time where Gold Panda's albums or tracks like this just seemed so lifeless. They always seem to be so colorful and carefree, and that's not what this is. I don't like that. I mean, yeah, is it nice to just have on and just be some nice wallpaper music? Sure, but good luck remembering most of this album. Yeah, there's definitely promising moments that shows that he still can get into that zone, really bring in that aesthetic, and really, put out some cool material. But then you get to some of the rest of this album, the majority of this album, the bulk of this album, and the reality is, I think this thing's phoned in, and it's been like 6 years since he's put something out. So, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it this time around. Feeling a strong 5 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.